My name is Kyle Royer.
Well, that's hot. It's really hot.
I'm making my second ever sword, named Excelsior.
It's even more steel than I used on my first sword.
So let's embark together on this epic edged adventure.
What you're looking at is the sketch for Excelsior. This is gonna be my second ever sword. It's gonna have a 36-inch long mosaic Damascus blade, and the handle is a little bit over 10 inches. The handle's gonna have straight fluting on it, which is gonna be the first time I've ever done straight flutes. I've done lots of spiral flutes before, but I thought the straight flutes would really give it kind of a classy look and feel on this piece. The handle's gonna be made out of premium grade interior fossil mammoth ivory. I've got a beautiful, beautiful block. We're also gonna have lots of 24 karat gold inlays on the black mirror fittings. So all the fittings are gonna be made out of steel, and they're gonna be gun blued with that mirror black finish on them. And the gold is gonna stand out and pop. It's one of my absolute favorite finishes for knives and swords and anything. If I had a motorcycle, I'm sure I'd want it covered in gun blued fittings and gold inlay too. This sword is similar to my first sword, but I've made a few changes. First of all, I wanted to go with a little bit more of a fantasy style look overall. So I've got kind of a leaf-shaped blade. When I say leaf shape, I'm kind of talking about, imagine Frodo's sword, Sting. It's kind of got that curvy shape. I've made a similar shape on this blade, only it's a little less dramatic. If you look at Gandalf's sword really, really closely, it actually has this shape too, but it's even more subtle than I'm going. So I'm kind of going in between those two. I've done some daggers with this shaped blade, and I'm really excited to do a sword like this. I've also put a little bit of kind of clamshell work on the end of the pommel, and I think that'll complement the straight flutes on the handle really well. I spent about 40 hours drawing and designing this sword so far. I'm super excited about it, and thank you so much for joining me on this process, because it's gonna be an epic, epic journey to make Excelsior and bring it to life. We're gonna take it from paper to steel, and it'll be born in the fires of my forge and by the callus of my hands. In front of me, I've got all the steel ground clean for Excelsior. We've got 1084 and 15 in 20. All the steel came pickled, so I first took it all out of the jars, dumped out all the pickle juice, and then ground the pickled finish off the steel, because I want it perfectly clean, so I have zero chance of having any random variables from the pickled surface interfering with the forge welds. The mosaic Damascus for Excelsior is gonna be really complicated. I'm gonna start with two separate massive billets, the maximum size I can even fit in the forge. In fact, I even had to have Dad grind away at some of the refractory in my forge doorways in order to fit these billets into the forge. They're gonna be about 4.5 inches tall. One of them is gonna be the W billet, and it's gonna be the W mosaic inside of the other mosaics, which is gonna be kind of a straight layer mosaic, and it'll all come together, hopefully, into a really beautiful pattern. The first billet I'm gonna work on is the W layer billet. And I wanna start out with really, really coarse layers. So I'm gonna be doubling or tripling up on the 15 and 20 layers to get really, really bright 15 and 20 stripes in the billet. And I'm gonna be double or tripling up on the 1084. And that should enable me to have a big billet that doesn't have lots of layers, because I don't want it to get too fine on me. I want it to be kind of bold, the W part. So I'm just trying to get it all set up right now. All I need to do is make sure that the very center of the billet has an extra bold section of 15 and 20, because I want this to come through in the final pattern. So I'm gonna probably double up on the 15 and 20 compared to what the rest of the layers are in the center. So if I'm doing 2 pieces of 15 and 20 for the rest of the billet, then I'm gonna do like 4 pieces of 15 and 20 in that very center. And then when it's all done, that should really be pronounced in the final billet. I'm still messing around with the layers. I haven't figured out exactly how many I want to do, so I'm layering it up, measuring how big the billet is, because I need to make sure it'll fit in the forge, and then kind of adjusting stuff and going from there. I think I'm shooting for like the 10 to 18 layer range or so. The next step in any Damascus making is to make sure that you can have your dad make sure that your billet isn't too big to fit in your forge. And yes, you have to have a dad to do this. You cannot do it on your own. I already mentioned Dad ground out quite a bit of the refractory that was sticking out, making the door smaller than it could have been. And it looks like that's gonna fit.
Touchdown. I didn't think it fit.
A little bit of wobble room, that's good because there's gonna be some welds probably sticking out on the corners that make the billet even a little bit wider than it is now even. That's just over 4 5/8 inches wide. I'm working with 2 different types of material that are the same size, and with a real simple billet, I don't need to mark them, I can keep it all separate, but I wanted to make sure I didn't accidentally put the wrong types in here. So I marked the 15 and 20 with an N, and the 1084 I just marked with a 10. I think I'm happy with this billet. This will be the W layer billet. What I've got going on here are all these layers that you see sticking out on this side are 1/2 inch thick layers of 1084. And then all the pieces on this side sticking out are 15 and 20. So we're gonna have a 1/4 inch thick 15 and 20, 1/2 inch thick 15 and 20 in the middle because I want that extra bright stripe in the middle. And then these 2 right here are an 1/8 inch piece and a 1/16 inch piece. So about 3/16 inch thick stripe of 15 and 20 right there. Next thing I need to do is carefully go through and clean off any dust and debris I might have on the billet. The 120 grit belt I sanded these with kind of left a kind of sticky texture, and I want to make sure I get all the dust and everything off of them, clean all the pieces, and we'll put it all back together, get it all flush, and start welding this billet up with the MIG welder. I'm also planning on wrapping the edges with some sheet metal so that they're not exposed to any kind of oxygen or atmosphere. And then I'll do 0 atmosphere forge welding with no flux or anything, and we'll get the cleanest forge welds possible. So with both billets together, plus the steel I'm gonna be adding into the billet later as we do some processes, this is how much we're gonna be using. This is a whole lot of steel. It's even more steel than I used on my first sword. This is also only if I don't mess up on the blade of Excelsior. If I mess up on it, then all this steel is gonna go down the drain. And it's a few $100s worth here. I got the W layer billet all ready to go. I've got sheet metal on the sides and welded up all the seams. Completely welded up all the seams on the ends of the billet too, so no oxygen can get to the billet. Dad just finished installing a really nice guide system for the hydraulic press. The hydraulic press, it was becoming more and more unstable, so when I would press down on something, it wouldn't press flat. It would kind of slant over to one side or the other, and that was causing my billets to come out like a diamond shape. We want stuff to be really square. So Dad spent 2 or 3 weeks working on this guide system and put these 2-inch posts in here. These are hardened steel and they're chrome plated. So they're the same exact material as this cylinder rod itself. What's nice about this system is that we can actually remove these guide rails if they get worn out and put new ones in. It all unbolts, and we can replace the bushings inside of here. There's bronze bushings in here. We've done everything as best as we can, and we're gonna do our first testing and see how it works now with this sword project. Nice fit. All we want to do right now is get the weld set. I'll just reduce it down maybe another 1/2 inch or so, and then I got to grind all that sheet metal off the sides of the billet. All right, we need to get the sheet metal ground off of it now so we can press it from every side and not get the sheet metal stuck in the billet. Well, that's hot. It's really hot.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
This part. gonna take a look at the end of the billet and see which direction the pattern's going through it, and that'll let me know which sides of the billet I wanna completely clean all the scale off of. And there's our pattern. It's looking exactly the way I was wanting it to so far. I didn't cut very much off the end, so you can still see some weld on the end, and all the layers aren't even showing through yet. So I probably need to cut a little bit more off to get rid of all that weld and everything on the very ends of the billet. We got a nice solid stripe down the middle, and we got nice curvy W things happening on the sides. Went ahead and cut the billet up into 4 pieces, and I'm now grinding the ends clean, and we'll etch the ends so we can see all the pattern throughout the entire billet. You don't normally need to do that. Sometimes I just etch one end of the entire billet. You don't need to etch all the ends, but I'm doing it for you guys and for me so we can see how it's gonna look as we stack up the next billet. Got all the pieces for the next forge weld prepared, and it's time to go ahead and get them stuck together. And as many of you longtime followers know, I actually don't forge weld with heat and fire, I forge weld with super glue. Now, we're just gonna hold it together with super glue and then we'll go weld it. I like super glue because it's really easy to position the pieces and get the layers all lined up. And my pieces aren't perfectly square and stuff, so they don't easily clamp together, so the super glue really helps with that. And it completely burns off and doesn't end up hurting the forge weld at all, so you don't got to worry about that. I've done lots and lots of this super glue stuff and have never run into any kind of trouble with the super glue infringing on the forge weld. I'm using some Starbond super glue, and I'm going to be using the gap filler thick stuff to hold the billet together. The thick is nice because it doesn't run all over the place and end up super gluing my billet down to the table, although that could still end up happening somehow. I also really like the Starbond because they got this nice little cap that actually has a small needle in it that goes down inside of the tube, and that seems to really cap it off a lot better than some of the other super glues I've used. And they've also got these little applicators that are nice, and I love the spray accelerant, just having that in an aerosol can. Big thanks to Starbond for sending me out a nice little test kit with some different super glue thicknesses and applicators and stuff. I'm really enjoying this stuff so far. And I love this little cap on here. You would not believe how much that little cap makes a big difference. You may be thinking that we're gonna 4-way this billet because it's kind of set up in the way you would normally 4-way something. You've got like a W pattern and it's going across the billet on a 45-degree angle, but we are not gonna 4-way it yet. We have a lot of stuff to do before we get to 4-way. What I'm gonna do though is kind of set this up the same way I would 4-way it because I want the pattern to be mirrored. We're gonna separate this up. Normally you'd 4-way, you'd take these 4 pieces and put them all next to each other and you'd have a mosaic starburst or something like that in the middle. Well, I'm still gonna fold them the same way I normally would. So I'm gonna take the outside ends and just fold them over on top of the other 2 pieces. And then if I was 4-weighing it, I would bend it around this way and you'd have your 4-weighted pattern. But since I'm not 4-weighing it, we're just gonna separate these 2 because we're keeping it 2 separate billets from here on out for a little while. And I've got some 1/8-inch thick 15 and 20 strips here. Got 2 pieces for each billet. What we're gonna do is put those 2 15 and 20 pieces in between our 4 pieces of damascus here. We're gonna forge weld these up separately and re-square them, but not on a 45-degree angle. It's probably gonna be something like a 30 to 25-degree angle. If I re-squared this on a 45-degree angle, that 15 and 20 in the middle right there would end up going from corner to corner. But I don't want that. I want the 15 and 20 to go on a little bit of an angle, but not quite go corner to corner. So that's why I'm gonna do a 25 to 30-ish degree angle. Right now, this is exactly the stage that we're at. We've got our W layer billet right here. This represents the 2 pieces of 15 and 20 in the middle, and this is the other W layer piece. The layers are going across at an angle right now, and we've got about 11 layers in each piece there. This piece right here, this extra dark piece, that represents the extra 15 and 20 that we put in the very center of the billet all the way at the beginning. So it should kind of get this effect of having a nice bright 15 and 20 piece there and then kind of a V coming off of it. Then we're gonna re-square it, and I'm not exactly sure how it's gonna look, but I think it's gonna be something like this. I think those straight lines are gonna kind of curve and come out right in here somewhere. And then that extra 15 and 20 we're adding in right now should come across at an angle, but not go corner to corner. If it was a 45-degree angle, it would come out corner to corner, but I don't want that. I want it to come out in the top and bottom of the billet a little bit, not quite at the corner. It can be hard to get the super glue to set up in the very center of the billet. So a cool little trick I read about is to spray the accelerant on one surface, put the glue on the other surface, and then immediately when you stick it down, it's gonna set up. But make sure you put it in the right place because it's gonna immediately set up. Spray it on there, flip this over, get it lined up, pop it down. You gotta be pretty quick too, because that accelerant evaporates quickly. So if you're too slow, it'll evaporate before you get it stuck down. I've got both of the billets super glued together. The next steps we're gonna do is go over and weld up the seams. I'm gonna go all around with the MIG welder and completely seal up the billet. So I'm just gonna put some light welds on the side, weld up the ends, and that way no oxygen will be exposed to the billet. We won't use any flux to get beautifully clean welds. We're gonna forge this out, re-square it like I said, do some grinding, cut them up, more grinding. Once all that's done, we'll finally get to etch the end and see if the pattern's looking similar to how I want it to look on our sketch. For the W part of the billet, this is as far as we can take these. Now that we forge welded all that together and re-squared it on a 30-degree angle, it's looking very similar to the next stage of my drawing. You can see the center line coming up through here, not quite coming out at the corners. And then these other lines coming off to the edges represent the center of our very starting billet. So in the next video, we're gonna take this other 12 pounds of steel and make the mosaic that goes inside of the W mosaic. I'll see you in the next video. May the forge be with you. Bye-bye.